this is Nita. Welcome to a glimpse into the moment. I don't even know where to begin. So much has happened in the last week since launching my first podcast. It's been kind of a roller coaster. I'm honored that so many people have listened. I'm incredibly taken back with the passionate stories and the people reaching out and sharing how my journey affects them, how it helps them, how it changes their perspective. In some cases, it's helping people get support and maybe break a cycle of violence in their life. I am completely honored and humbled at the same time. So to all of you, thank you. I think you guys are amazing and strong and powerful and vibrant and courageous for sharing, reaching out and talking. Last week, in my last podcast, I talked about beauty and how I don't internally match what externally people say. People say that I'm very pretty or I'm very beautiful. I don't feel that inside. I don't own that. I disassociate myself with it, in fact. But I want to tell you a success moment before I get too far down that road. A success moment this last week was phenomenal. I had gotten all ready for most likely my new job that I love. And I had on an outfit that I love. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel pretty. And I looked at a mirror as I was exiting the bathroom after doing my hair, and I looked in that mirror and I literally stopped for a second and I said, wow, like literally in my head I said, wow, you look really pretty. And then this like wave of acceptance and happiness flooded through me. It was instantaneous, just that self-affirmation and believing it to be true was so powerful that I literally was taken back. Like physically, I was shocked, and I kind of shook my head and I stepped back a little bit and I looked at myself in the mirror again, and it hit. It faded. The ugly voices hit. The justifications started rolling through my head of why I looked pretty. Right? Why do you look pretty? Why do you look so nice? Why are you dressing up? Why this? Why that? All the things that were my normal. And pushing your normal out of your path is not an easy thing to do when it's been your normal for decades. It's a part of you. It's a living, breathing part of you that you have to destroy. You have to find a way to destroy it. It doesn't just happen because somebody said it should happen. It doesn't just happen because people say you're pretty or lovely or kind or anything. You have to work on that to internally own it and believe it. And that is what I have been doing. And that's how I had that moment of celebration where I looked in the mirror and I felt it. I lived it. It was brief, but it was wonderful. I wasn't conceited. I wasn't arrogant. I wasn't dressing up because I'm going to go have an affair with somebody. I wasn't dressing up because I want to be better than other people. I put on that outfit because I love it. I did my hair because it makes me feel good. I wore makeup because I freaking love to wear makeup. I always have. My daughter's the same way. For a moment, all of the ugly judging was gone. It was gone from my head. I had parked it somewhere. And that moment was bliss. And having experienced that moment, I want it again. I am diligent in my course. I am diligent and passionate about healing and parking the emotional and verbal abusive behaviors in my past, and ensuring that I create healthy pathways forward. Because what I'm also finding is that there is an incredible, an incredible lapse in me to seek out what I know. So in developing new friendships and in continuing old friendships and learning boundaries, I'm using the word learning because I don't have boundaries conquered yet. I am learning them. But in learning them and in implementing them in my life as I move forward, what I'm finding is that people who don't respect my boundaries, I recognize that, I'm hurt by it, but I'm not pushing them out of my life. I'm allowing those people to stay in my life, and I don't exactly know why yet. I'm figuring that out through therapy. But the only thing that because I've done so much thinking on this, and my one friend, he would say, Nita, you're an overthinker, and he's totally right, but I can't stop it. But because I have thought and pondered on this so much, I truly believe that it's really hard to break your normal, right? I was just talking about that with the feeling pretty, the looking beautiful. It's hard to break out of your normal and feel confident. To break your pattern of normal, and maybe that's like every single day for months and months and months, you have peanut butter jelly. And peanut butter jelly is the best thing in the world to you. But all of a sudden, one day, somebody gives you turkey. And you're like, well, I like turkey, but I need my peanut butter jelly. Because your peanut butter and jelly became your comfort, your known, your safe thing, your thing that you was consistent, and that no matter what, even if peanut butter and jelly might be more calories and on terrible bread and it doesn't taste as good as the turkey, it's what you knew. Breaking out of what I knew for decades, what I normalized for decades, is hard. A lot of the people who've contacted me are asking, how did you know? How did you wake up? And how did you break away? And I can be honest that I knew for a long time, for years. I knew always that there was something wrong. But it becomes so slowly ingrained into your daily pattern, your daily routine, that you don't realize how bad it is. And if it weren't for really specific people targeting, I mean, my mom was key in telling and educating my family, but we weren't ready to hear it. So she was educating, she was offering the education, but no matter what, I couldn't hear it. I couldn't see my role in it because I wasn't there yet. I wasn't broken enough yet, unfortunately. This sounds terrible, but for me, that's like how I process it. I had to be horrifyingly broken as a woman to start to listen. But the turning point for me became in two friends and their uncompromising love of me and their unjudging of me, but their consistent daily message, multiple times a day, of what love is and what love is not. And that gave me hope, and it gave me something to grab onto. And it's really, really hard when you have somebody that you trust and you love telling you that you are. I'm going to go back to the beauty example, but they tell you that you are beautiful inside and out, and they cite a million reasons why. And you are pulled over on the side of the freeway at a rest stop sobbing because you know what they're saying is true. You know everything that person who loves you unconditionally, who takes nothing from you but gives and gives and gives to you. You know what they're saying is true, but you still can't accept it because it isn't your norm. It isn't what you live day in and day out of being punished for just being you, for looking like you look. It took a long time for my friend and my other friend to break that barrier. to give me enough to where I started reaching out for more information. And once I started reaching out for more information and learning more and seeing that what I was facing, I wasn't alone, it allowed me to breathe a little bit. Like I could just barely breathe. Because most of the time I felt like I was either like tailing, on a rope behind a jet flying in the atmosphere where you just really can't breathe and you're going to die. Or I was just like, you are underwater and you've all, like everybody who's ever swam has been underwater a little bit too far and you're like, ugh, what the hell? Bleep, did I get so freaking far underwater? I'm totally freaked out now. Am I going to get to the top? And your lungs are burning, right? You're like, holy hell, how did I get here? And you're pushing to get to the top, to the surface, to break the surface. And that moment you break the surface, it just washes over you. And you are so freaking thankful. It's like that. It's like that. It's like being at the stupid deep end of the pool or jumping into murky water and not knowing which way to go next. So, I really do want to encourage anybody who sees somebody who's struggling with their self-worth. And it may be for any reason at all. It might be for any reason at all. Maybe they're just having a bad day. But take the brave choice, take the courageous choice, and lift them up. Right? It's incredibly easy to tear somebody down or to walk right by somebody, but it is courageous to invest one moment of yourself and not be silent, not leave them hanging, and I hate this thing, ghosting. I've just learned about this, and people who don't respond, who are silent, I mean, those are abusive tendencies, those are abusive qualities. Like if you are walking right by somebody who is giving you their time, you need to just walk right out of their life, or you need to stop and say hi back, because that's kindness. I don't really understand the world not being kind, but I also attribute me staying in an abusive marriage for so freaking. I kind of cuss. Oh, sorry. Me staying in this marriage for so long because I expect everybody to be kind like me. And do you know what I'm learning? They're not. They're not. Say that again. They're not. They're not kind. They're not like you. They're not like me, Nita. They don't have the same standards of communication that you have. So stop. I have to stop giving everybody space in my day. But in order for me to do that, I have to go back to learning those boundaries and learning those barriers. And I have to not use excuses as to why I got where I am, but I have to empower myself to park those people on the side. And whoever they may be, I set boundaries and barriers in my own home with my own children that are new, that we as a unit, the five of us, the four kids and I, are learning together because we're in crisis here. We are in crisis here. And I refuse to lose one of my kids to the effects of a domestic violence marriage. With that, on my rambling rant on my journal for the day, for those of you that reached out, please keep reaching out. It helps. It does. It helps me. It helps others. It helps others that you are brave and courageous and you speak out and you speak up. For those of you that this helps silently in any way, shape, or form, you are not alone. There are people who love you, people who will help you. And I remember that moment that I called the domestic abuse hotline and they answered, "Domestic abuse hotline, are you safe?" I thought I would die in that moment. I thought that I was calling a non-emergency number, but it was the hotline number, and I could barely speak. And that was actually just last early fall. I'll have to find the date somewhere, but it literally was just last fall. Your life can change, and it will change, because you deserve better. I deserve better. My kids deserve better. My ex-husband-to-be deserves better than where we're at right now. Have an amazing day. Thanks for listening. Maybe by the next time that I do my third podcast, which I'm planning on having a guest, I'm planning on having Miss Emily McIntyre join us to talk about that day on the side of the freeway, and how she kind of saved my life. I hope that you live a courageous life, that every moment of your day is fulfilling and wonderful and courageous, because you, just like Emily taught me, you are worth it. You are worth expecting the best from the people that you allow your energy and your time. You are worth every good thing that comes your way. And don't you doubt it. And don't feel bad for putting on the beautiful dress. And don't feel bad for getting your hair done, or whatever it may be that makes you feel good. Nobody gets to rob you of that. Nobody. People who love you and who deserve to be around you will only see those things as positives. Surround yourself with the right people. All right, my friends. Have an amazing day. I am actually needing to go get a shower and get to work and get about my real day and my real life. But I am excited to tell you guys I have a crock pot full of soup and bread in the bread machine thing ready for the kids tonight, because I have school board tonight. And little Miss Magdalena, Sarah's newly adopted dog, which if you follow me on social media, you have seen the introduction of Maggie into our home. She is sound asleep here. So this whole time that I've been ranting passionately about life, she has slept through it so peacefully and lovely, and she is a delight in our life. And I hope that you can look around your space right this second. Do it. Just right now. Look around your space and find something that brings you joy. Thanks, my friend. Have an amazing day.